Welcome back to LFC Transfer Hub, your ultimate home for all things Liverpool. Today we've got huge transfer drama and breaking news. Liverpool icon tells Arne Slot what he must do immediately with Alexander Isak. Alexander Isak stuns Liverpool player as Arne Slot absent from training. Mark Guehi argument slammed by Gary Neville as £50 million Liverpool problem emerges. Let's dive in, Reds. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated with every twist and turn in the transfer window. Sweden international Alexander Isak could make his Liverpool debut against Burnley this weekend, but Arne Slot has been warned against rushing the striker's integration. Arne Slot has been warned against throwing Alexander Isak into Liverpool's team too soon after a summer in which the striker played in no pre-season games for Newcastle. Isak effectively went on strike at Newcastle in a bid to force through a move to Anfield. He missed the Magpies' pre-season opener against Celtic, and refused to travel on the club's tour of China. Isak did not figure in any of Newcastle's opening 3 Premier League games of the season either, before his determination to join Liverpool paid off on deadline day as he secured a move to Merseyside. After signing for Liverpool, Isak quickly jetted off on international duty as Sweden faced Slovenia and Kosovo in World Cup qualifiers. Isak, though, did not play in the 2-2 draw with Slovenia and only featured as a substitute for around 20 minutes in the 2-0 defeat by Kosovo. That suggests he is highly unlikely to play from the start when Liverpool travels to Burnley on Sunday. Former Reds marksman John Aldridge thinks it would be sensible for Hugo Ekitike to continue playing up front for Slot's team while Isak gets up to speed. Writing in his column for the Liverpool Echo, Aldridge said, "Alexander Isak is finally back in action after his cameo from the bench for Sweden earlier this week. But there's absolutely no reason why Liverpool should rush the striker into the first team. It is far, far too early for that. Being generally fit is one thing, it's quite another to have the necessary legs and sharpness to be playing in the Premier League every week. I wouldn't be surprised if Liverpool arrange a behind-closed-doors friendly or two to put Isak through his paces. But Isak is only really going to build up his fitness by coming off the bench, and I fully expect him to do that at Burnley on Sunday and in the games coming up against Atletico Madrid and Everton. There's no reason why the striker can't be given an hour or so in the League Cup game against Southampton later this month. It would, though, be a risk to give him many if any starts before that. And the good thing for Liverpool is they don't have to, given the great beginning to the Anfield career of Hugo Ekitike. Alexander Isak stuns Liverpool player as Arne Slot absent from training. Liverpool returned to training on Wednesday ahead of their trip to face Burnley on Sunday, and fans were given a first look at Alexander Isak in a Reds kit. Liverpool are gearing up for a return to Premier League action this Sunday with a trip to Turf Moor to face Burnley. The Reds, who currently top the league table, resumed training on Wednesday, offering fans an inside glimpse into their preparations. In the coming weeks, Liverpool will be tested as they juggle Champions League and Carabao Cup commitments alongside their Premier League campaign. Arne Slot's squad is set to play 7 matches in just 21 days, with fixtures against Atletico Madrid, Everton, and Southampton following this weekend's clash. The key to navigating this busy period will be maintaining a fit and healthy squad, and successfully integrating British record signing Alexander Isak, who needs to build up his match fitness. The striker, who recently joined from Newcastle United, was spotted in training for the first time since his move. Here's what we noticed from the session ahead of the return of Premier League action. A warm welcome to Liverpool, Alexander Isak. Isak appears to be going above and beyond for his new club. He was the only player involved in September internationals to report for training on Wednesday. Despite not having played under match conditions for over 3 months prior to Monday, the forward looked sharp. Against some of the younger defenders, the £125 million signing demonstrated his skills in several build-up play simulations at the AXA training centre. Perhaps most notably, he showed off his pace by darting past 19-year-old Welody Lucky and coolly slotting the ball into the near bottom corner. The reality that Isak is well versed in the rigors of English football should benefit the Reds as he works towards peak match sharpness in the forthcoming weeks. Beyond that, the Swedish forward appears to be adapting well and seems to have already struck up a friendship with Jeremy Frimpong. Arne Slot absence. Burnley's first round of training had a notable absence, head coach Arne Slot. He is expected to join the rest of the squad soon. In his stead, Wednesday's training session was led by Liverpool's lead physical performance coach, Ruben Peters, and former first-team player now under-21s coach, Jay Spearing. Eagle-eyed viewers of Liverpool's inside training video posted on YouTube Wednesday night may have spotted a charming detail in the background between the timestamps of 2:03 and 2:10. During a scene where Frimpong is completing a running exercise in the indoor AstroTurf area of Liverpool's training ground, 3 pictures can be seen above the wooden paneling lining the edge of the room. They appear to be recent additions and depict Chiesa celebrating his goal against Bournemouth, Rion Guehi celebrating his match winner at Newcastle, and Dominic Szoboszlai taking his free kick against Arsenal. It appears that Liverpool has begun a collage of their memorable moments from the 2025-26 campaign, possibly as motivation to continue creating more memories. Mark Guehi argument slammed by Gary Neville as £50 million Liverpool problem emerges. Mark Guehi was close to joining Liverpool this summer, with a £35 million deal on the table before Crystal Palace pulled the plug after failing to land a replacement. Gary Neville reckons Mark Guehi was right not to kick up a fuss to force a move to Liverpool and insists the centre-back's exemplary conduct will serve him well moving forward. Guehi came close to completing a move to Anfield this summer, only for the deal to collapse on deadline day after Crystal Palace failed to secure a replacement. The 25-year-old, who has entered the final year of his contract at Selhurst Park, was the subject of extensive interest, with Liverpool leading the pursuit and agreeing on a £35 million fee before the move fell through. Despite the intense speculation, Guehi remained fully committed to Palace, continuing to train and play without disruption. This contrasted with the approach of players such as Alexander Isak and Jon Wissa, who both actively and aggressively pushed for moves away from Newcastle and Brentford, and got them. Many fans and pundits argued that Guehi's professionalism may have prevented him from completing the move, claiming he should have been more assertive in the same way others had been. Neville, however, firmly disagrees with that perspective, praising Guehi for his mature approach and suggesting it is the best path forward. There was narrative that was like you're better off being Alexander Isak because you'll get your move, than being Mark Guehi who doesn't, Neville said on the Stick to Football podcast. But I was thinking no, because, in the long run, 70 years of your life, it will pay you back. Neville also highlighted Guehi's tactful handling of questions about the Liverpool situation following England's victory over Serbia on Tuesday. There was an interview with Mark Guehi. "I thought it was brilliant," the former Manchester United defender said. "I thought the class, the way in which he handled the question around the situation with Liverpool. He had a smile on his face. He was so relaxed. It was just his manner and the way he dealt with it. He didn't antagonize, he didn't come out with anything smart. You can just tell he's a really good guy." When ITV asked Guehi about how the past few days had been, he responded cheerfully, "It's been great." Later, after being questioned on whether integrating with the national team was difficult after what happened, Guehi answered, "It's always easy coming here, such a good group of players, good group of staff. We are all working towards one goal. Really enjoyable. Always good to be here." Clearly, he is handling the situation with calm professionalism. From Liverpool's perspective, however, Guehi's decision has left them vulnerable. Neville speculated on the potential consequences for the Reds, who are still thin at the back. "I wonder if Liverpool will regret not signing Guehi," he said. "If, say, Konate gets injured, will they regret not offering Palace, like £45 million to £50 million and just getting him over the line?" Jamie Carragher also weighed in, highlighting defensive concerns. "That's the one area where Liverpool have problems. It's 3 games in. Liverpool have got 9 points out of 9, not played that well. Centre-back is the one area that could come back and blow up in their face because they haven't really got quality cover. What Guehi was giving Liverpool was competition at centre-back. They haven't got that, Carragher continued. They've got 2 starters and 2 understudies. Joe Gomez is injury-prone, and the young lad who's only 18 and come from Italy, Giovanni Leone, he's going to be a great prospect. But if you think that one of them had to play for a couple of months, it could be a big problem. Liverpool's summer outlay, estimated around £450 million, largely focused on attacking reinforcements, with over £300 million spent on Isak, Florian Wirtz, and Hugo Ekitike. Defensive additions included promising youngster Leone and fullbacks Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez. However, the team's early defensive record suggests vulnerabilities, with 6 goals conceded in their first 3 matches. Guehi's disciplined approach may have inadvertently left Liverpool without the defensive boost they needed. Notably, Guehi had already completed his medical and could have pressured Palace into a transfer once the club failed to bring in a replacement, after Igor Julio's move to West Ham derailed the Eagles' plans to sign him. Others have shown how such tactics can pay off. Nicholas Jackson, for instance, reportedly refused to return to Chelsea after his Bayern Munich loan collapsed late in the window. His standoff forced the Blues to recall Mark Guehi from Sunderland instead, ultimately clearing the way for Jackson's deadline day switch to Germany. Isak took even more aggressive steps to force his move, skipping training and Newcastle's pre-season tour before reportedly vowing to never play for the club again, regardless of whether a transfer materialized. Guehi, by contrast, has remained steadfastly professional, a decision which could ultimately cost Liverpool. That said, if Liverpool manage to sign him as a free agent next year, the club can be assured they are bringing in a player of exceptional character, a factor that may prove invaluable on and off the pitch, and well worth waiting for.